Over the years, I've been getting a lot of complaints about real estate agents not representing the buyers the way they should. They either try to push the most expensive house on the blog, or they're just simply not showing what the buyer wants to see, or they're just simply not resourceful at all. All they want is to collect a commission. So I decided to create this video to help you in your home buying process and make sure that you ask the right questions so you can select the right real estate agent to represent you. So before we continue, I want to address the big elephant in the room. What's the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent? And they are technically the same. They are both here to provide a service, whether to represent you and help you in your home buying process or in your home selling process. However, there's one thing that makes these two different, and that is the realtor belongs to the National Association of Realtors. That's why this person is called a realtor. Now, how do you make sure you're working with the right agent, the one that's going to represent you and serve you the way you deserve to be served? Let's say that in order to seal the deal with someone and say, oh, let's work together, first, you need to go through a whole interview process. Interviews are applied pretty much in every new relationship, whether you're applying for a new job or even when you're going on a date. You get to know each other. You ask them about their favorite colors, their favorite food. And it's the same thing with a job interview. They want to know what you're good at, what are your weaknesses, where have you lived, or what employers have you had in the past couple of years, and so on, right? So the same should be applied in this relationship of realtor and home buyer. And so the first question you should be asking this professional is, what type of services can you provide me? And the reason why you need to ask that is because you shouldn't assume that all services are included. Some realtors specialize in the home buying process and some realtors specialize in the home selling process. And just understanding those differences can save you from a lot of headache. You want someone who's an expert in what they do, and you want to make sure you understand the scope of the services that they can provide. Can they search for a home for you? Will they accompany you to the house so you can do a tour together? Will this person be helping you with the negotiation process to bring down the price? Will this person be helping you draft contracts? And all of those services, they need to be discussed beforehand so that way you know who you're working with. The following question you should be asking this person is, how well do you know this market, right? Whatever market you're interested in buying. So if you're looking to buy a house, let's say in Miami, Florida, this person should know the ins and outs of Florida. Or if you're going to Boston, Massachusetts, then this person should know the ins and outs. And what do I mean by ins and out? Well, anything related to the number of homes sold in the last couple of months, the cost or the range. They should know anything related to the schools that are in the vicinity if you happen to be a buyer with a family and you're in need for schools, and what other perks that the area provide. Does it have a lot of bars? Does it have a lot of local shops? Or is this an area that it's, 20 minutes away from everything? All of those details, that person should be able to explain to you. Otherwise, then there's no point in finding someone to represent you. You can just do all of that research yourself, right? And that's my next point, right? So when this professional is telling you their insights about the market, you should trust but verify. Don't just blindly believe everything they're saying. Sometimes they could be wrong, and that's okay. We're all human, right? We all make mistakes. And that's why you come in and you do your research. So you corroborate that information. You can do a quick Google search, or you can just simply visit pages like Zillow or Realtor.com to confirm that information. And then you're making an informed decision, and the person that you found actually knows what they're talking about, and you walk into that business relationship knowing that you picked the right person. Or at least that's what we can hope, right? If you're new here, welcome to Nova Rise, your channel for financial education. Here, we cover everything related to real estate, precious metals, investing in the stock market, and businesses. The following question that you should ask is, what type of buyers do you work with? In other words, who are your customers? Remember, there is an agent that specializes in something in particular that will work for a different clientele. There are real estate agents that specialize only in commercial deals, meaning apartment buildings or investment properties or malls. And there are agents that represent only buyers, and there are agents that represent only sellers or people that are in between. So you need to understand what type of customers they work with, because that will tell you a lot about their level of expertise. What areas are they truly resourceful on? And that way you can also speak the same language. It's not the same. Let's say, for example, if you are a first-time home buyer and you found a realtor that only works with people who are in the commercial real estate space, the agent that works in the commercial real estate space is going to throw numbers like this really, really fast, because the expectation of this person is that you should know all the acronyms you're talking about. But if you're a new home buyer, chances are that you're going to feel not intelligent at all, because this person is throwing all these acronyms and all these percentages, and it's just basically going to throw you off and possibly even discourage you from the home buying process. So that's why you as a buyer need to do your own research, your own due diligence to find the right person to represent you. So back to the example of a first-time home buyer. If you're brand new, you should work with an agent who specializes with brand new buyers, with first-time home buyers. That way, that person could guide you through the entire process of how to search for a home, possibly help you determine how much can you possibly afford. And most importantly, this person will have the patience to explain every question that you might have about the home buying process. Now, next question. What's your process to finding properties, right? Because again, you don't want a person who just lumps you in the same category as everyone else and start just shooting a list of different properties. And some of those properties might not even meet your criteria. This person needs to be able to walk you through the entire process, from how they start the search process. And it should sound something like this. Well, first I sit down with you and try to understand what your needs are. And then based on that, I will just look into the zip codes to see if there are any properties that match that criteria. If for whatever reason that area does not have anything that matches your criteria, I can offer alternatives. Would you be okay with that, right? They need to check that as well, because we don't want to risk a situation where there's a misunderstanding and you could think that this agent is not wanting to sell you in a specific area. Sometimes there are no properties available in a certain area, and that's just the way it is. So understanding how they search for the properties that meet your criteria can also help prevent any possible miscommunications. The next question that you should be asking is, what will be included in our written buyer agreement? For those who don't know, the written buyer agreement is something that is relatively new. There was a lawsuit recently against the National Association of Realtors and some other parties that were involved. And as a result of that, written buyer agreements are now required. So before signing one, make sure that your agent specifies what type of services are going to be included, because the last thing you want to do is just to assume that certain services are covered and then only to find out that they're not included. So make sure that in that written agreement, they cover everything from, hey, I'm going to show you properties, or whether I'm going to negotiate on your behalf, how much are you going to get charged, how are you going to pay for those fees, etc. The next question you're going to ask is, how long are we going to be working together? And in a way, it ties back to the prior question, because once you sign a contract, right, you're locked in, right? So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the time frame that that contract is locking you in. For the most part, most states allow a single day contract, meaning a contract that will only last for a day and that one transaction. That way you have the flexibility to choose. And I think that was meant to address a constant fear that people had. What if I don't like my agent? What if my realtor doesn't represent my needs and I don't want to be locked in this contract with them? And that's when the whole single day contract situation came in. Now, remember, this will vary by state. Some states might offer that option and some might not. Okay. So make sure you understand the terms of that contract before signing it. So that way you know what you're signing up for. Now, if for whatever reason, some of this information doesn't make sense to you, make sure you let me know down in the comment section, and I will do my best to break it down to you and help you understand what's going on. The following question is the payment, right? How are you going to get paid? How are you going to charge me for my services? And for those who don't know, prior to this whole lawsuit, it was customary for the seller to pay for both agents' fees. So if there was a buyer's agent and there was a seller's agent, both fees will be covered by the same person, in this case, the seller. But after the lawsuit, things have changed. So now the buyers themselves are the ones that are going to be paying for the buyer's agent services. So this can be negotiated in a flat fee. And if you do pay a flat fee, make sure the services that are covered and that flat fee are listed so that way you know what you're getting. It could be based on a percentage, or it can still be covered by the seller. At the time of this episode creation, the practice doesn't seem to have changed. It still looks like the seller is the one covering for all fees because that's the way things have been done in the past. And I guess it's just easier to continue with the practice. The only difference is that now there's more transparency. At least you know who's paying. People are aware of the fees that are being paid, regardless of whether you're a buyer or a seller. The following question is, do you know people within your team that you can recommend me to? And this could be a contractor, this could be a title agency, or a real estate attorney, depending on the state that you're in, or an insurance broker for your home insurance. The key here is to find out whether the agent that is representing you knows and has a power team, because that's going to make a big difference. You don't want to work with someone who doesn't have a clue of which direction to go or where to recommend you to. A good realtor, a good real estate agent has those resources at their disposal. All it takes is a quick phone call, and those experts in the field should be able to come in and help you with whatever you need. Now, next question on the list, do you have any references? This is very important because you need to verify what they're saying, right? So there's two ways to approach this. One is to ask them for references directly, references that you can call and speak to, or you can just simply do a quick Google search. You type in the name of the person and then you write the word realtor at the end or real estate agent, and the name of that person should pop up. So that way you can read everything about their bio. And if there's any reviews underneath their bio, then that should help you corroborate that you're in fact working with someone who is ethical and also good at what they do. I wish you the best of luck in your home search or your investment property search. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.